Introduction. Imagine getting the key lessons of Big Data MBA without reading all the pages. That is exactly what this review gives you, so stay with me until the end. Here's what is coming up: a quick overall summary, then a section-by-section breakdown of the most important points. Overall summary. Differences between business intelligence and data science. Discusses in detail the Big Data Business Model Maturity Index. 1. Big Data Business Model Maturity Index. The Big Data Business Model Maturity Index provides a roadmap for how organizations can integrate data and analytics into their business models. Don't think business intelligence, think data science. Data science is different from business intelligence, BI. In summary, business leadership needs to lead the Big Data initiative, to step up and make big data a top business mandate. Chapter 1: Data and Business. So this book targets the business audience and is based on a few key premises. Organizations do not need a big data strategy as much as they need a business strategy that incorporates big data. The key to data monetization and business transformation lies in unleashing the organization's creative thinking. We have got to get the business users to think like a data scientist. Finally, the business potential of big data is only limited by the creative thinking of the business users. The days when business stakeholders could relinquish control of data and analytics to IT are over. Business leaders need to understand where and how to leverage big data, exploiting the collision of new sources of customer, product, and operational data coupled with data science to optimize key business processes, uncover new monetization opportunities, and create new sources of competitive differentiation. The book is organized into 4 sections: Business Potential of Big Data. Here is where I introduce the Big Data Business Model Maturity Index and frame the big data discussion around the perspective that organizations do not need a big data strategy as much as they need a business strategy that incorporates big data. Data Science for Business Stakeholders includes chapters 8 through 12 and seeks to teach the business users and business leaders to think like a data scientist. This chapter frames the big data discussion on how big data is more about business transformation and the economics of big data than it is about technology. This chapter is a fun, out-of-the-box exercise that explores the potential data and analytic impacts for an organization as it contemplates the business metamorphosis phase of the Big Data Business Model Maturity Index. This book is targeted toward business users and business management. Chapters 1 through 4 set the foundation for driving business strategies with data science. The big data discussion now needs to focus on how organizations can couple new sources of customer, product, and operational data with advanced analytics, data science, to power their key business processes and elevate their business models. The Big Data MBA challenges the thinking that data and analytics are ancillary or a bolt-on to the business, that data and analytics are someone else's problem. The Big Data MBA introduces and describes concepts, techniques, methodologies, and hand-on exercises to guide you as you seek to address the big data business mandate. And in the process, Big Data MBA teaches you to think like a data scientist. The Forrester Study Reset on Big Data, Hopkins et al., 2014, highlights the critical role of a business-centric focus in the big data discussion. The critical and difficult big data question that business leaders must address is: how effective is our organization at integrating data and analytics into our business models? The Big Data Business Model Maturity Index is a measure of how effective an organization is at integrating data and analytics to power their business model. The Big Data Business Model Maturity Index provides a roadmap for how organizations can integrate data and analytics into their business models. The Big Data Business Model Maturity Index is composed of the following 5 phases. Phase 1: Business Monitoring. In the business monitoring phase, organizations are leveraging data warehousing and business intelligence to monitor the organization's performance. Chapter 2: Data and Business. Phase 3: Business Optimization. In the business optimization phase, organizations apply prescriptive analytics to the customer, product, and operational insights uncovered in the business insights phase to deliver actionable insights or recommendations to frontline employees, business managers, and channel partners, as well as customers. Phase 4, Data Monetization. In the data monetization phase, organizations leverage the customer, product, and operational insights to create new sources of revenue. The holy grail of the Big Data Business Model Maturity Index is when an organization transitions its business model from selling products to selling business as a service. And in the process, these organizations will create a platform enabling third-party developers to build and market solutions on top of the organization's business-as-a-service business model. No matter the size of the organization, organizations don't need a big data strategy as much as they need a business strategy that incorporates big data. History lesson on economic-driven business transformation. More than anything else, the driving force behind big data is the economics of big data. It's 20 to 50 times cheaper to store, manage, and analyze data than it is to use traditional data warehousing technologies. And for many organizations, the first question that needs to be asked about big data is, how effective is my organization at leveraging new sources of data and advanced analytics to uncover new customer, product, and operational insights that can be used to differentiate our customer engagement, optimize key business processes, and uncover new monetization opportunities? Big data is nothing new, especially if you view it from the proper perspective. New technologies don't disrupt business models. It's what organizations do with these new technologies that disrupts business models and enables new ones. The inability to think differently is causing organizational alignment and business adoption problems with respect to the big data opportunity. Organizations must throw out much of their conventional data, analytics, and organizational thinking in order to get the maximum value out of big data. Don't think big data technology, think business transformation. Many organizations are infatuated with the technical innovations surrounding big data and the three V's of data: volume, variety, and velocity. Start your big data initiative with a business-first approach. Break down or decompose this business initiative into the supporting decisions, questions, metrics, data, analytics, and technology necessary to support the targeted business initiative. This book begins by covering the Big Data Business Model Maturity Index in Chapter 2. The Big Data Business Model Maturity Index helps organizations address the key question: how effective is our organization at leveraging data and analytics to power our key business processes and uncover new monetization opportunities? Introduces the Big Data Strategy Document. The Big Data Strategy Document provides a framework for helping organizations identify where and how to start their big data journey from a business perspective. For example, business intelligence focuses on reporting what happened, descriptive analytics. Business intelligence operates with schema on load, in which you have to pre-build the data schema before you can load the data to generate your BI queries and reports. Data science deals with schema on query, in which the data scientists custom design the data schema based on the hypothesis they want to test or the prediction that they want to make. Chapter 3, Data and Business. Organizations that try to extend their business intelligence capabilities to encompass big data will fail. Data science is a new discipline that offers compelling, business differentiating capabilities, especially when coupled with business intelligence. Differences between business intelligence and data science. Discusses the differences between business intelligence and data science and how data science can complement your business intelligence organization. Don't think data warehouse, think data lake. In the world of big data, Hadoop and HDFS is a game changer. It is fundamentally changing the way organizations think about storing, managing, and analyzing data. And I don't mean Hadoop as yet another data source for your data warehouse. We are witnessing the dawn of the age of the data lake. The data lake enables organizations to treat data as an organizational asset to be gathered and nurtured versus a cost to be minimized. Organizations need to treat their reporting environments, traditional BI and data warehousing, and analytics, data science, environments differently. The data lake introduces the concept of a data lake and the role the data lake plays in supporting your existing data warehouse and business intelligence investments while providing the foundation for your data science environment. Discusses how the data lake can uncuff your data scientists from the data warehouse to uncover those variables and metrics that might be better predictors of business performance. The business needs an approach that is inclusive of all the key stakeholders: IT, business users, business management, channel partners, and ultimately customers. The business potential of big data is only limited by the creative thinking of the organization. Big data is interesting from a technology perspective, but the real story for big data is how organizations of different sizes are leveraging data and analytics to power their business models. As discussed in this chapter, organizations need to understand that big data is about business transformation and business model disruption. Senior business leadership needs to determine where and how to leverage data and analytics to power your business models before a more nimble competitor or a hungrier competitor disintermediates your business. To realize the financial potential of big data, business leadership must make big data a top business priority, not just a top IT priority. At its core, big data is about economic transformation. Chapter 2: Big Data Business Model Maturity Index. Organizations do not understand how far big data can take them from a business transformation perspective. How do I compare to others with respect to my organization's adoption of big data as a business enabler? How far can I push big data to power, even transform my business models? To help address these types of questions, I've created the Big Data Business Model Maturity Index. The Big Data Business Model Maturity Index is a critical foundational concept supporting the Big Data MBA and will be referenced regularly throughout the book. It's important to lay a strong base foundation in how organizations can use the Big Data Business Model Maturity Index to answer this fundamental big data business question: how effective is my organization at integrating data and analytics into our business models? Chapter 4: Data and Business. The Big Data Business Model Maturity Index provides a roadmap for helping organizations to identify where and how they can leverage data and analytics to power their business models. Organizations tend to find themselves in one of 5 phases on the Big Data Business Model Maturity Index. Phase 1: Business Monitoring. Phase 2: Business Insights. In the business insights phase, organizations aggressively expand their data assets by amassing all of their detailed transactional and operational data and coupling that transactional and operational data with new sources of internal data, e.g., consumer comments, email conversations, technician notes, and external data, e.g., social media, weather, traffic, economic, data.gov, sources. Organizations in the business insights phase then use predictive analytics to uncover customer, product, and operational insights buried in and across these data sources. In the business optimization phase, organizations build on the customer, product, and operational insights uncovered in the business insights phase by applying prescriptive analytics to optimize key business processes. The holy grail of the Big Data Business Model Maturity Index is when an organization leverages data, analytics, and insights to metamorphose its business. The business monitoring phase is the phase where organizations are deploying business intelligence, BI, and data warehousing solutions to monitor ongoing business performance. The business monitoring phase is a great starting point for most big data journeys. So let's discuss how organizations can leverage the economics of big data to cross the analytics chasm. This is the phase of the Big Data Business Model Maturity Index where organizations need to exploit the economics of big data. That is, big data technologies are 20 to 50 times cheaper than traditional data warehouses in storing, managing, and analyzing data. These four big data value drivers are access to all of the organization's transactional and operational data. In big data, we need to move beyond the summarized and aggregated data that is housed in the data warehouse and be prepared to store and analyze the organization's complete history of detailed transactional and operational data. Think 25 years of detailed point of sale, POS, transactional data, not just the 13 to 25 months of aggregated POS data stored in the data warehouse. You can't see those individual customer behaviors and purchase tendencies in the aggregated data stored in the data warehouse. Access to internal and external unstructured data. Data warehouses don't like unstructured data. Data warehouses want structured data. For example, trickle-feeding data into the data warehouse has been a long-time data warehouse challenge because the minute new data enters the data warehouse, all the supporting indices, aggregate tables, and materialized views need to be updated with the new data. The business insights phase is the most difficult stage of the Big Data Business Model Maturity Index because it requires organizations to think differently about how they approach data and analytics. The rules, techniques, and approaches that worked in the business intelligence and data warehouse worlds do not necessarily apply to the world of big data. For example, business intelligence analysts were taught to slice and dice the data to uncover insights buried in the data. The data monetization phase is the phase of the Big Data Business Model Maturity Index where organizations leverage the insights gathered from the business insights and business optimization phases to create new revenue opportunities. Chapter 5: Business and Data. Packaging data, with analytic insights, for sale to other organizations. While the data monetization phase is clearly the phase of the Big Data Business Model Maturity Index that catches everyone's attention, it is important that the organization goes through the business insights and business optimization phases in order to capture the customer, product, operational, and market insights that form the basis for these new monetization opportunities. The business metamorphosis phase of the Big Data Business Model Maturity Index should be the ultimate goal for organizations. In order to optimize its business models, processes, people, etc. Big Data Business Model Maturity Index lessons learned. There are some interesting lessons that organizations will discover as they progress through the phases of the Big Data Business Model Maturity Index. Focus initial big data efforts internally. The first three phases of the Big Data Business Model Maturity Index seek to extract more financial or business value out of the organization's internal processes or business initiatives. The internal process optimization efforts start by seeking to leverage the organization's business intelligence and data warehouse assets. This includes building on the data warehouse's data sources, data extraction and enrichment algorithms, dimensions, metrics, key performance indicators, reports, and dashboards. The maturity process then applies the four big data value drivers to cross the analytics chasm from the business monitoring phase into the business insights and ultimately the business optimization phases. Apply predictive analytics and data mining to uncover customer, product, and operational insights or areas of unusualness buried in the massive volumes of detailed structured and unstructured data that are worthy of further business investigation. Organizations are eager to leverage new corporate assets, data, analytics, and business insights in order to create new sources of revenue. This is the 4-Ms phase of the Big Data Business Model Maturity Index where organizations focus on leveraging data and analytics to create new opportunities to make me more money. If organizations are serious about integrating data and analytics into their business models, then 3 organizational or cultural transformations will need to take place. Treat data as an asset. Organizations must develop an insatiable appetite for more and more data even if they are unclear as to how they will use that data. This is a significant cultural change from the data warehouse days where we treated data as a cost to be minimized. Business management and business users must gain confidence in using data and analytics to guide their decision-making. The organization's investments in data, analytics, people, processes, and technology will be for naught if the organization isn't prepared to make decisions based on what the data and the analytics tell them. Businesses of all sizes must reframe the big data conversation with business leaders. The Big Data Business Model Maturity Index provides a framework that enables business and IT leaders to discuss and debate the question: how effective is our organization at integrating data and analytics into our business model? The business possibilities seem almost endless with respect to where and how organizations can leverage big data and advanced analytics to drive their business model. The Big Data Business Model Maturity Index provides a roadmap, a how-to guide to direct the business and IT stakeholders from the business monitoring phase through the business insights and business optimization phases, to the ultimate goals in the data monetization and business metamorphosis phases to create new business models. Big data holds the potential to both optimize key business processes and create new monetization or revenue opportunities. The Big Data Business Model Maturity Index provides a frame. Closing. That brings us to the end of our review of Big Data MBA. Thank you for listening. If you found this helpful and would like more book summaries like this, please subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss a new video. Tell me in the comments which book I should review next, and I will see you in the next one.